Someone said there was a playoff game today, but apparently they didn't tell the Ducks that they were playing today. Welcome for another Conquest call-in show. Preston is not able to make it tonight, but we are all very blessed to have my favorite caller here today with us, Paulie Walnuts, joining the crew. We're going to be talking about really what we saw today. We thought we were going to watch the two best Big Ten teams battle it out for an epic game. What we saw was maybe the blueprint that we need to look at as a football program on what to do, what not to do. So we're going to talk about that. We could talk about the roster. I really want to dig into the roster. I've been looking at the roster a lot more lately. What we need to do in the transfer portal. Transfer portal is going to be a really important part of this offseason. I think it's going to start heating up really quickly here. Now we're seeing teams bowing out of the playoffs. And I just want to get your guys' thoughts, because remember, this is your show. This is the whole point of this show, is that you guys come in, you call, have a great take. Like they used to say in the old days, on the Jim Rome show, have a take and don't suck. Come on, just come on in, give us your best shot. Let us know what you thought about the game. Let us, because here's what I want to think about. We are going to be playing those same Ducks next year. We're not playing Ohio State, but Ohio State really just showed us a blueprint, I think, that I'm going to get into a little bit later on how we're going to be successful going up to Autzen this year to play the Ducks. But Coffee Hand, 1 second. I just want to introduce everybody. Paulie Walnuts making his debut on the show. Appreciate you being here, Paulie.
Thank you so much, and Happy New Year to everyone out there. Fight on, my Trojan brothers. This is an absolute honor to be on this show. Thank you so much, Tim, for having me.
Thank you.
Talking to all you guys.
Paulie's been one of the original callers calling in and just bringing just some positivity to the channel and to the show. Again, Preston's not able to make it. This is way too late for him. But we did want to do our Wednesday show. We're supposed to do a Wednesday show. We got kind of caught up in the playoff games today, so we're a little bit backed up on the schedule. But we're all glad you guys could all be here tonight to discuss. So again, like I said, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about what we saw from the rosters. Saw really just an amazing job by Ohio State. I think they give Ohio State a hard time just because, well, they're the Buckeyes. But really just a superior showing of what it's like to really get your high school talent, develop them, and then add the pieces that you need. Add the pieces that you need in order to be successful. Whereas, you look with the Ducks, it looks like the Ducks basically, Paulie, what they did is they have a bunch of mercenaries. I mean, let's face it. If you look at that team, so look at Ohio State first, really quickly. We'll be right with you 1 second. You have Will Howard, Quinshon Judkins, Travion Henderson, Caleb Downs, and then I think maybe like a cornerback or a safety or a nickel. I can't remember, another guy that came in. But the rest of that team is home cooked. I mean, home cooked and developed. That's your word, developed. Then on the flip side, you look at Oregon, and man, it just seems like from even their high school classes they get, just seem like they're mercenaries. They're bringing them in. And where's the development? I mean, the majority of this team, I think there's 6 guys on offense and 8 guys on defense. That's 14 of your 20, your starting 22 are transfer guys, as opposed to 4 or 5 on the Ohio State side. So, Paulie, just really quickly, initial thought before we get to our first caller on just, modern day roster construction.
Well, what I saw today, Tim, is I saw a team first of all, I saw Ryan Day coaching for his coaching life today. But then second of all, I saw a balanced team, a team that was playing for its coach and a team that's been together. And you could just tell it was a united front. They were completely balanced from offense, defense, special teams, all the way through. And on the other side, you see a bunch of guys there, a bunch of athletes, a bunch of guys that don't seem like they don't have any direction there. And then on top of that, it's like you said, they're a bunch of hired guns, guys that seem that they're out for more for themselves, pad their stats, get me to the next level. But that's really not happening when it comes to development. You look at a lot of these 5-star California guys that have ended up in Oregon. And Oregon, they were nowhere to be found today. I think they were sitting on the bench somewhere. So that's kind of my take on that one there.
Yeah, and I'm not saying every guy comes in off the roster, but I get you the kind of mercenary comment.
Yeah.
But not everyone. I mean, listen, I was there on the field with a bunch of guys that played their last game in Cardinal and Gold, still throwing up the fight on, still loving USC, and all of them on Twitter talk about how much they loved USC. I am not in any way, shape, or form saying all those Duck players are just mercenaries. They don't love the school. It's that simple. But I am saying there is something to be said about a 4th or 5th year senior, that's been with the program for a long time, and bleeds Cardinal and Gold, bleeds was it Scarlet and Gray, right? Whatever it would be. And then what is it? Puke Green and Baby Blue. I don't know what they are up in Oregon. You get my point, So let's talk about rosters. Let's talk about all that stuff. Let's talk about the portal, because again, the portal is a big part of this. We'll talk who we need later on. Probably I'm gonna get yours. I kind of jotted some down, just our needs by position. I kind of ranked them. We need a bunch of positions, but I kind of ranked them in order, and that's exactly what Ohio State did. They looked at what we need. Here's what we got, and USC now has that development, has that depth. But Rusty, I think this is how many they got right here.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to do something there. That's exactly how much.
This is exactly how many they have. 108 seasons, and what is that? I think 0 titles still. So maybe Phil Knight can hang on for. That's rude. Phil Knight maybe might be able to see a title sometime. Hopefully, if Dan Lanning can get his act together. I told you guys, listen, I said at the beginning, I got ridiculed at people about Dan Lanning coaching development, et cetera. And I saw a team that when they went in and they played at home, you had Dylan Gabriel, but you also had Will Howard. They're still learning offenses. They're still learning defenses like that. But then you saw Will Howard early in the season, and look at Will Howard now late in the season. Jeremiah Smith is a true freshman phenom, insanely good, but now look at him. He looks NFL ready. That's called development. That's called coaching. So we could talk about all those things as well. Appreciate all of you guys being here. Wow, this thing's kind of blowing up. We got about 236 of you guys on here, 238. We're moving on up. Please, if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe. We'll get more people in here. Let's get the party started. We'll be here as long as I can keep Paulie awake. And as long as we get phone calls, we're here to just kind of talk SC football. And listen, I'm still riding that high from the Las Vegas Bowl. I still don't really have my whole voice back from the Vegas Bowl, but I'm excited. Let's get going. You ready, Paulie? Let's take some of these calls. Yeah,
I'm ready. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it.
Okay. Remember, a number is always 888-997-4539, 888-99 Riley. Love to hear from some Buckeye fans. Love to hear from you Ducks. I'm sure you Ducks have a lot to say to me if you're out there right now. Come on, let me hear it. I want to hear you guys come at me. I'm ready for it. It was a great day. We could also talk about the other games. Heck, we've had some from talking about the CFP being a mess to being like some really solid games. And shout out to Arizona State. Wow, we'll talk, Paulie. We'll get into that as well. We'll talk about Scattaboo. We'll talk about just the great job going on down there in the desert. But let's get to the calls. That's what the show's for. Are you ready, Paulie?
You got it. Let's do it, guys.
All right, everybody. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Uh-oh. Call, are you there? Okay, hang on one second. Hang on. Paulie, let's talk about Arizona State. Well, I can just fix real quick. Do you mind? Do you want to kind of just fill in everybody?
Arizona State, what a great story, man. From the very beginning, it just
hang on, caller.
It's what college football is all about. Team of destiny, and everybody, it was them against the world, and I love to see that play out on a national stage like that against Texas. They had Texas on their heels, and to see the pain on Scatterborough, Cam was just at the end of the game. My heart just goes out to that team, and I can't wait for us to participate in some big games like that. And I know it's coming soon. I can feel it. But more so the Arizona State, though, like I said, the one thing about it, if they can keep their coach, I could see them doing some big things in the Big 12.
Yeah, well, the good news about head coach Dillingham is an ASU guy. I think he's there until the NFL comes knocking to come get him. So I think they're in a great spot with Kenny Dillingham. Will Stein filled in for him pretty good this year. Actually recently, last year to this year. But man, I think Kenny Dillingham is going to be a hot name. ASU is very, very lucky. Sun Devil fans that you got an alumnus that really loves being there. So otherwise he'd already be gone. All right, caller. Hi. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Craig from New York City. What's up, Tim?
Craig, we're bookending it, right? We ended the day with you. Sunday night. Now we're starting the night off. How you doing, man?
I'm all right, man. I wanted to call in and, give my man Paulie some love, man.
Oh, what's up, Craig?
I'm giving Lincoln another, what's up, Paulie, man? You're the reason I'm giving Lincoln another try, man.
Hey, we're not talking
Yankees. Give you some love, man.
We're not talking Yankees. Don't even think about either one of you. All right.
No, but thanks for calling, Craig. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. Appreciate you too, man. Appreciate the positivity, and keeping us level headed, man. When shit hits the fan sometimes. But I just wanted to call and say, I think the biggest take today wasn't necessarily the Ducks, because we Ducks are gonna do what the Ducks are gonna do, and that's strength in the big moment. They got no pedigree, no lineage. You look at their roster, they got 3 Oregon players. The rest of it's full of California players. So they just, hired, like you said, mercenaries. Like they suck. Like they're never gonna be nothing. Like they suck. So they're not really nothing to worry about. So they'll go 12 and they'll go 12-0, and they probably lose to us. And like what I seen last tonight, like I think we might beat them. Like especially how battle tested we are from this season. I don't think they can beat us. Like they really.
Hold on, we lost you again. So what I keep doing here is I keep messing with these my earbuds, and it keeps popping out the sorry, let me fix this really quick. The Roadcaster, which is our phone. Sorry, but I got you back. Yeah, no, listen, I'm making fun of because that's what we do here, right? I mean, the Ducks, they have a good roster, but this is what we're talking about: roster versus development. You know what I mean? All roster, no development. We just saw it on the field today, because there's a lot of really talented players on that Oregon team. There's no doubt about that. I have been questioning for a couple of years. Roll the tape on it. I've been saying, okay, there's some really good recruiters in there, man, because it wasn't just Bags. We had parents tell me, hey, look, they do a really good job up there, staying on you, tell you giving you that love. There's no doubt about that they are recruiters up there, but are they developers of talent? And that's where your question mark is going to be. We know Will Stein can call a solid game, but where was the secondary, you guys? Where was the freaking secondary? They've got talented guys in that secondary that just disappear. Yeah. Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Let me know, you guys, anyone here on the panel, where was the Duck secondary in that game?
One thing, can I chime in, Tim, really quickly?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what I saw today, it just gave me so much more confidence. But the person I compare Lanning to the most, and that whole Oregon secondary, their whole team in general, it reminds me a lot of the Ole Miss teams. They're going to get those amazing recruiting classes in. They're going to bring in the best transfer portal athletes in, but then yet they don't ever have an identity, and I don't know what Oregon's identity is. Are they a power team? Are they, I have no idea what they are. And you look at all the 5 stars they have in that secondary, and some of the hired guns that they brought over, some guys maybe from Purdue, and another one, I think, from Northwestern as well. They just really got exposed today in a major way. And that's kind of his MO in the big games. I mean, he gets out coached, the X's and O's, just the other coaches just end up, honestly, they exposed him today. And the way we went toe-to-toe with Penn State and toe-to-toe with Michigan, and Michigan beating Ohio State, it just gave me that much more confidence and in thinking of how we're going to compare now, especially with the depth that we have now. That was our Achilles heel this past season, was the depth, but I look at the depth we're going to have on that defensive line, those monsters. I can't wait to see them, folks.
Yeah, I mean, Craig, it's insane. Just picking up Jarrett and Silver, you guys just added to, like, now our zero tech, right? Our nose guard, that position now went from being an absolute position of weakness where we were asking guys to be versatile. That was a big word this spring, guys being versatile and be able to kind of play along line. That's still something that Lynn wants to do. But now we're going to let these guys play where they eat, where their bodies are fit to play, and then we're going to see them still moving around, try to get some advantages, trying to mix it up. But now we get to see, again, those edge guys really go and get after the quarterback. Holy smokes, Petros Priamos. My goodness. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Fight on, T-Dog. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it. Listen, I'm here because of you guys and because of just wonderful gifts like that. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you also double dipping as a member. Paulie, I know you're also a member of the channel. You guys, matter of fact, while we're on it, join the membership. but try to somehow blackmail Gabe into going live with us. We're going to do a members only, and we're going to let you guys choose what game you guys want to watch. Do you want to watch LSU? Do you want to watch the Las Vegas Bowl? Do you want to watch them both? We can go back and watch any game you guys want, members. Really blessed to have a great membership here at the Voice of College Football USC. Thank you so much for your generosity, Petros. Craig, anything else for us?
No, I just wanted to say what's up to Paulie and just say, yeah, I don't think Oregon is as tough as it looked when the schedule came out. I think Michigan's probably our hardest game next year. So I think we got a great chance of, having a good season next year. I was definitely wrong, Tim. I think we get in the playoffs and, create some noise, especially with these other teams. Like these big teams that we see that's up there, they're not looking too good, man. The coaching is looking subpar. Dan Lannon, like you said, he just looks like a recruiter. They don't have any identity. Like, I don't know what they're good at other than, supposedly looking good on the field.
With those uniforms.
Other than that, man, fight on, guys.
Hey, fight on, Craig.
Craig, you have yourself a good new year, all right? You're 20. I wish you nothing but the best in 2025, Craig.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks.
Great call, Craig. Yeah, I mean, well, listen, I before we get too carried away, I mean, I want to mess with the Ducks just like everybody else. Congratulations. Oh God. Gee, it hurts every time. Congratulations to the Ducks on a solid season. It's not easy to go 12 and 0 in the regular season. It really isn't. A great run. But I think that the coaching was exposed. I think they had a $25 million roster that, well, they didn't put together. And that's coaching. They had the players. They had the players. And unfortunately, they came up way short when it was time to show it. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Caller, you there?
Yes. Hello.
Yeah. Hi. How's it going? What's on your mind? Oh, first off, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Man, this is Christian. How you doing, Tim?
Christian, doing good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. I'm doing a lot better after that Rose Bowl.
Woo. Yeah.
A lot better.
Yeah, I'll tell you what,
man,
before we celebrate, everybody, remember, we play them not in the Coliseum, we play them in Autzen, and I've seen some really good Trojan teams go up to Autzen where we're the better team. I mean, going way back to the Bilotti years and us struggling up there. So let's not get over our skis like Tim will do in the preseason. Let's keep it in mind. But it's a fun night tonight, so let's have fun with it. Sorry, Christian, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. But one thing that I've seen, and I'm listening to the show, and what I'm loving is the physicality in which we play defense with this year, and we're fixing our issues as far as the defensive line. But if you look at all the games that Oregon struggled with this year, today against Wisconsin, against Boise State, I mean they were getting thumped in the trenches, and I wouldn't even say that Dan Lanning is a good recruiter. Oregon is a good recruiter, right? The school. They have to have the money for Phillies, jerseys, all that. I mean, even if he wasn't a coach there, Oregon is still be getting these top athletes and transfer in because they have the money. I've been saying for years, if you go back since Dan Lanning has been at Oregon, last year versus Washington and the year before Washington, his coaching cost both of them those games. I mean, they lost by a couple of points the first year and a couple again the second year. In both those games, they were at field goal range multiple times where he decided to go for it on 4th down and they didn't get it. If that was Lincoln Riley at USC, we'll be giving him a harder time than we already giving him right now. But the biggest eye-opener today, which I already knew, is that Oregon had the athletes matched up with Ohio State. That game was lost above the shoulder. Oregon was blatantly out-coached. I mean, Ohio State flipped it up. This game, they went with a lot of 3 safety and put downs in the middle. They only rushed 3 and was able to get pressure and drop everybody back in the zone. But Oregon continued to run man coverage beaters, and they never adapted. Defensively, they never adapted, and it was just shocking, not shocking, but eye-opening just how bad that Oregon came into this game and got out-coached. Like everyone can come into a game with a game plan, but it's about can you adjust when your game plan is not working or you just get out physical. What is the adjustment?
Wait, Christian.
They had no answer to adjust for anything.
Wait, Christian, are you trying to tell me that Josh Lupoy is a great recruiter but not a developer? Wait a minute. Not a great coach. Wait, I think that's what we were talking about earlier, wasn't it? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, football coaching is about exactly game plan, and then the second half, a second half adjustments. I'm sorry, Christian, I didn't mean to cut you off. You're on it. I totally agree.
Yeah, and that's basically definitely what it is. I mean, they were just out. They were out coached. It wasn't that they didn't have the players. They had the talent. They were out coached from beginning to end. And Oregon just, I mean, Dan Lanning even agreed in his press conference about them being out coached and not having an answer for offense. I mean, it was blatant. It was just blatant there.
Yeah, Chip Kelly. All right, guys. Chip Kelly. Listen, talk about the antithesis. Right? Incredible football X's and O mind, zero recruiting. Ask the Bruins. But if you put him up in that box, you give him a couple of weeks to get ready for you. Mm-hmm. That man can scheme up with the best of them. And yeah, Josh Lupoy was just lost. Let's face it.
They were lost.
I mean, what was he gonna do? I mean, most DCs are gonna have trouble. But when you have a guy like Lupoy, who's not exactly known for his defensive scheming, and then how much of that was Kirby, how much was Lanning as far as, what was going on over at Georgia as well. So, I mean,
Georgia.
Yeah. So, I mean, Paulie, it seems like, again, that whole coaching thing, kind of important, that whole coaching thing.
No, I noticed them on the sidelines, man. There was times where players are coming off the field and the coaches just seemed completely puzzled at what was going on. They were caught off guard and completely unprepared for this. They thought they probably had it in the bag. They were coming in with so-called chip on their shoulder and coming in talking a little trash, and good old Chip over there, man, up in his office somewhere, dude, scheming and planning, and he comes in, it just puts an offensive wizardry on him, man. He just it was great. It was great to see that. And but once again, like I said, as a recruit, if I'm sitting there watching that and I saw how unprepared that team was in the biggest game of their season, then that doesn't look too good for them.
Yeah, nor does cooked duck. But you guys, I don't know how, I will let you guys. I put this out in the second quarter because I was watching that going, oh my god, I could not believe. Listen, I thought Ohio State was going to win this game, but I had no idea it was going to be. At one point, it was 34-0, I think. At one point in the second quarter. So I mean, you guys let me know how you like your cooked duck served up in the chat, because those guys got absolutely smoked. That's no doubt in my mind. What else you got for us, Christian?
Oh, go ahead, Christian. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. And I'll bring to you guys with what we've seen. I hear Ryan Pelham might be on the move from Oregon as well after today. But with what we've seen, do you see an influx of our California players and recruits who decommitted from us and went to Oregon? You think this could be an eye-opener, especially for the ones who are not seeing the field, because Oregon is going to hit the portal and buy players as they always do. There's a lot of talent that decommitted from us or didn't choose us and went to Oregon that's not even seeing the field or getting playing time, which means they're most likely they're not being developed. So do you think we see an influx of California kids staying home and those at Oregon running out of Oregon?
Well, they lose all. I mean, we knew before the season they're going to lose all the receivers. Holden Johnson, Stewart, those guys, they're all on their way to the NFL. Pelham was true freshman, so I mean, I don't think he was. I didn't expect him to see the field very much this year. I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. That was one of those head scratchers, right? Those last minute bags we talk about, where Ryan Pelham, all the words from the guys I trust over at 247 on 3 saying, nope, he's coming to SC in the last minute. Boink, and Rivals too. They're all on the same page saying, yeah, he's coming to SC. And guess what you guys remember? Everyone freaks out about, oh, that's insider BS. Blah, blah. No, that's how this stuff goes. You know what I mean? Don't shoot the messenger. He was all about USC, and last minute he's up to Oregon. But yeah, it depends, right? It depends, Christian. If they portal over the top of them, then yeah, maybe they see the writing on the wall and realize that maybe they might want to go somewhere else. That would be I would definitely welcome Ryan Pelham back to Southern California and SC. that would be an answer. We need another guy receiver, and he might just be that guy. So, they lose everybody. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel, gone. I don't know if Jordan James is going to hang around for a fourth year or not, but I mean, he's probably will, because running backs aren't exactly leaping early into the NFL. But they're going to lose a lot. Lose Birch, Derek Harmon. Mateo's still going to be there, but a big part of this team is going to be gone. I mean, and the one thing that's good though is they've been recruiting very well up there at Oregon, so they will reload. But again, here's recruiting, yes, portaling, and yes, but are you developing players? And that, Christian, might be the reason why people say, "Hey, man, I'm not getting developed here." I mean,
Peyton Woodyard, the safety.
Oh, dude, that one hurts me. That's a Bosco guy,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. It just like I said, the lack of development. Mateo is that guy's over in year 2 already. He should have been somewhat, I don't want to say thriving, but making an impact. And
he played pretty. I think he actually,
right.
He might be the guy. But the thing is, though, is that the development, or is it the fact that Mateo is that good? Because I think he's. I mean, I watched him at Bosco. I think it was weird. He would flash at Bosco, but what I've really seen, and this might be the opposite of what I've been saying. He's been looking a lot better. God, it hurts me to. He looks better up at Oregon than he did when he was playing at Bosco. So I'll put it that way. So I mean, maybe it's because he's more, spending more time. He's not splitting with tight end like he did at Bosco. Maybe he's getting, who knows? Maybe that position they got worked out. I'm just saying overall, it doesn't seem like this doesn't seem that you're seeing the team got better from the beginning of the year to the end of the year.
Yeah.
And by the way, the phone lines are empty after Christian here. 888-997-4539. Thank you so much. There's almost 700 of you guys here between Twitter and YouTube. I know there's some angry Duck fans. Listen, I'm messing with you guys. I will be respectful. You come in here, you want to talk about the team. Buckeyes. If you guys want to come in here and you guys want to celebrate, come on in too. That's really a USC show, but we're open to anybody who wants to talk about the game. Make sure that you just bring the proper vibe and proper energy when you do come in. What else, Christian? What else you got for us? You always got a lot of insights.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say, we'll really see too for the first time their development be at the quarterback position, because if Quinn Ewers don't go to the draft, he's transferred as expected to Miami, there's not really a top quarterback out there for them to get. If you look at them, they were lucky enough to get the Auburn transfer in for 2 years. That was very good for them. And then they got this last guy from Oklahoma. Yeah. And so right now on their bench is the guy that was a freshman at UCLA last year, Dante Moore. Mm-hmm. And so we haven't seen this landing regime actually develop a quarterback that they're drafted or in system. They have went out and got someone who was already a developed quarterback and very good. And so if they don't hit on Ewers, I just think it's going to be rough on them as far as the quarterback position next year. Very rough.
Yeah, I agree. Who knows? Well, last time we saw Moore, he was really struggling. Now, how much development he was getting is the wild card on that one. But if Dante Moore, then they have what Novosad, I think is there as well. But I mean, yeah, they're probably looking somewhere in the portal to pick somebody up.
Kid coming in, but he's going to be a true freshman from Hawaii, I believe. He's from Hawaii. The guy they end up flipping in.
Yeah,
he's going to be a freshman. So I think it's going to be looking rough for him if they don't get on Ewers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I'm hoping they struggle with the quarterback position because, as we know, it's so vital in college football. And speaking of portal and getting people in, before I let you get out of here, USC does need some help as far as we were talking about how to home bake and make your roster off of your high school guys. But there are some holes in the USC roster that need to get filled. If you have like a 1, 2, and a 3, like a 1 or 2, both of you guys, what positions are the must gets, do you think, for in the off season for SC?
I'll start. Definitely, we need depth at the center position.
Yeah.
I would say the right guard and tackle and linebacker. I like our linebackers, but Gentry hasn't finished the season with us. he did miss here, missed a game here. This year he has to miss a lot of games. So we definitely depth at the linebacker position. I love Desmond Stevens as well, but we definitely can use another down to linebacker. The offensive tackle, I was thinking we would go after that no one has yet is the Washington State offensive tackle. And then there's a guard flag tackle out there from Illinois. He can play either one. So those would be good picks as well. And linebackers is probably going to be hard with linebackers until we get a DC maybe. Linebackers coach.
Right.
But we definitely need to get another linebacker as well.
Yeah, good rundown. Paul, your thoughts?
You know what? Obviously, adding some depth to the offensive line. I love the development. It's probably one of the biggest. I'm not surprised because I could see it coming with some of these guys. They have the talent, they have the size. Just maybe adding some depth back, in some of the key positions there on the offensive line. As far as linebackers go, I think we have enough speed there already, but maybe adding some physicality to that group. Some nice, big, tough, guys that can hang in the Big Ten and knock people around. A thumper. That's the kind of guy that I would like to add over to that linebacking unit there. Where, like I said, we have the speed and stuff with Gentry and Desmond and Elijah Newby, but it'd be nice to get a big, thick thumper kind of guy in that linebacking unit. So those are the two key points there. And obviously, yeah, there you go. Someone like that, Christian. So and also, as far as quarterbacks, if there's one that comes along that's available that can come in and be a part of this group, then I'm all for it. But I haven't really seen anything out there. I mean, I know what's his name. I thought the kid from South Dakota rumor has it taken off to Washington, from what my understanding is, or Washington State, but I have no idea, Tim.
Yeah, it depends on that part. Gronowski. That depends on the head coach is going there, and it's most likely he's going to bring a bunch of his staff there. But it's going to be interesting to see if the OC goes over with them, and then outside of initial playing time, there's really not a lot of upside. I mean, let's say he doesn't get that NFL grade that he wants in order to move on. It's a no-brainer to go somewhere like USC and go play under Lincoln Riley. But the question is, does he want to come in here and compete right away with Jaden Mayava and Husan Longstreet? Because it's his last year. It's quite a gamble. I mean, the reason why he's doing this is he wants to get on the field and show NFL scouts what he can do at the FBS level. And so people say, well, why would he go to Washington State? Well, I mean, he's guaranteed to play, you know what I mean? And he could put up some numbers there. And it's not like the NFL quarterbacks all come from group of 4 schools. It's going back forever. If you can throw the ball, they'll find you. And especially if you have those immeasurables like he has. And so if Mark Gronowski does want to show what he can do, Washington State with his coach and with his OC, and then he's gonna know the system and the scheme, and he can just plug right in and just start playing against some FBS talent, then that might be the right call for him. But yeah, I had center as number one, just the number one thing going on. Listen, people are looking over the top of this. Killian O'Connor did an outstanding job, and I personally like him a lot. So there's going to be a bias here, but beyond that, it was knocking his size. It's not like he's tiny, but he is a bit smaller, especially when you have Jonah Monheim in there. Anyone's going to be smaller than that. But he really played well, and but I just think that you need quality and you need depth, and I do kind of worry about some of the larger defensive lines like playing like a Notre Dame. But I got to tell you that nose tackle they had for Texas A&M, that was not some small dude, and he held his own. He did. There were some moments where he was, that pocket integrity probably got a little bit condensed, but overall, he played well. He called out a great line protection in that game. So I think we're happy there, but no question, that's number one on my list. Is you just got to get that's such an important piece. And if he were to go down or et cetera, or if you could somehow upgrade, that would be something that USC definitely needs to do. And then you're talking about tackles, maybe a swing tackle. Gabe was saying that, a guy that can go both ways. I like our tackles. Justin Ta'anu came up, stepped up, played just amazing, in that game when Elijah went down. Tobias Raymond is what I saw and what I've been talking about guys. I got a lot of crap for Henson and for that 2023. But again, I'm going to keep tooting my horn. those guys are still coming, and we haven't seen Micah Banuelos yet, and Hayden Treater, he's also going to be coming along pretty soon here. And Makai Saina, dude, I think we're pretty good on the interior, but I would like to see a swing tackle. That would be something that might be pretty special to get. And then wrapping it up, the last position probably that USC has to look like must get for USC is that middle linebacker position. Like you guys were talking about, it just seems like in Lynn's system, they like that athletic, quick, rangy guy, which we do have. We do, like we talked about Desmond Stevens. Desmond Stevens is that guy. He's not a small guy by any means. But I hear you, Paul. Yeah, big thumper right in the middle. But I'm not sure if that's the look that they want. I mean, they want a guy that can go sideline to sideline. That's where we've gotten in trouble in the past. Kind of this year, really. Kind of this year at times. Yeah. Mobility of our linebackers horizontally kind of came into question and kind of hurt this defense on a number of occasions. Jada Walker is also there, but young. I think he's got to put on some size. Mm-hmm. But I mean, those two are a good young nucleus. But I'd like to have a kind of like to bring in a veteran running back. You probably want to bring in a veteran, veteran linebacker with a lot of experience that they could plug into the system. So great.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. That's exactly what I probably should have clarified. That is that more of a veteran presence there, someone to go with Gentry and help these younger kids out and guide them along through those tough Big Ten road games. Someone there they can lean on a little. So I'm totally with you on that. What about you, Christian? Is Christian still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got his list. I've got your list yet. And and that veteran, because it's understated how much the Easton Mascarenas Arnolds and Akili Arnold brought to that room, brought to the defense. Just their I wouldn't even say their veteran leadership, just the teammates that came in, but that knowing like that the older guys have. I think that really helped to bring that whole group together. So yeah, really, really think that's gonna be an important piece. But listen, you guys, I told you guys there are 700, almost 800 people here between Twitter and make sure, I guess, in the chat also, if you guys want to, hey, look, any of you 700 want to go and hit up my side channel and go ahead and give me a subscription there. And also make sure you check it out. I know he's not here right now, but if you guys are not checking out Preston's Paradise, what are you doing? Because Preston's putting out almost daily content and really covering USC as tight as possible. I got Gabe slaving away back there behind the scenes here doing the producer role tonight. Make sure you're checking out Gabe's work over at the Trojans Blade. We saw Rusty earlier in our chat. Thank you, Rusty, for always supporting the show. I didn't tweet anything out, but if I do tweet it, I can always count on him and Nico and the guys always to retweet my stuff. So you guys are an integral part of the channel success. Thank you guys so much all for being here. And thank all of you guys. And if you could do us a big favor, I don't know how many likes we have out there. Probably not enough. You guys go ahead, do us a favor, hit that like button. Really does help out the channel. If you haven't, then don't hit it. But if you've enjoyed any part of the show, or if you're a Duck fan and really can't stand me at this point, go ahead, hit the like button anyway, just to help out a fellow human being. We'd really appreciate it here. But also, this is a call-in show, and we really appreciate some calls. We can only keep Christian on the phone for so long before he's gonna get tired of talking to us. So you guys, give us a call. I'm looking right now, and like I said, we have almost 800 people here. You don't have to bring what Christian brings. I mean, Christian, man, I tell you what, you've called a couple of times, and you really know your stuff and bring your stuff. But I'm here just to talk about anything. You guys want to come call in? Just give us your advice. Talk about who you think we need in the transfer portal. You can do that. You can explain to us what, if you're a Duck fan, what the hell happened on that field today. If you're a Buckeye fan, call in, let us know. Sound off. You guys enjoy it. You had that loss. No one hurt more than Will Howard, but I bet you were a lot of Buckeyes out there when Will Howard did not get down on that last play, so to give him a chance to hit kick that field goal. I'm sure this was a good time for you guys coming after what you had to go through for the whole season, waiting for this comeback. So appreciate everyone being here. All right, well, we got the show to ourselves, the three of us. We can just talk because nobody else wants to call in. Any thoughts on outside of the roster building, outside of the game? Anything in general you guys want to talk about?
Go ahead, Christian. Go ahead, Christian. Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I keep it moving because one thing I'm very excited about, especially being a kid from California, born and raised, and move to the South and SEC countries that the Big Ten is 4-1 versus the SEC in these bowl games. Right? I get so tired of hearing about the SEC being so dominant and things of this nature, and a lot of their top of their pack teams are going down. You know, South Carolina, who had a good year, that was beating a lot of people. SEC lost. Texas A&M, who was a game away from the SEC championship, lost. Tennessee that wasn't a loss. That was just a brutal beatdown. You know, their one win came from Iowa losing at the end to Missouri. But outside of that, I mean, in these out of conference games, the SEC is not looking what the world try to make them out to be.
Yeah. I think that now that everyone can pay their players, I think it's kind of leveled playing field. But in more serious, I mean, I do believe that. By the way, has anyone seen a happier Trojan this bowl season than Sua Cravens? I don't know what the SEC did to Sua.
He's all over it.
That young man has no love for the SEC. And it's been going on for years. But oh my goodness, is he having fun with the last couple of? Yeah, I mean, look, you cannot stack the rosters. That was a thing about some of these schools in the SEC is they just reloaded. But you're seeing all these linemen, especially defensive linemen, coming off of these teams and going, you know, and in the case of Bear Alexander, to 15 different schools, you know, just popping around through the portal. You can't keep these guys in one spot anymore. So you can't, you know, Kirby Smart can't just, you know, Pete Carroll wouldn't have had. Remember with Pete Carroll, we had like 5 running backs that basically the entire country would love to have had. You can't stack a position room like that anymore. And so I think that along with the fact that, well, you know, everybody could buy cars, and I don't mean, you know, a 94 Impala or whatever. I mean, like, you know, proper, like, you know, exotic cars and stuff. Now everybody can do that kind of thing. And I think that's leveled the playing field. So now you're seeing a situation where some of the other schools have more resources than some of these SEC schools. And we're beginning to see the product of that, as well as coaching. Remember that coaching thing? That matters as well.
Of course. And one thing I wanted to chime in on is getting back to talking about the SEC, and all these different conferences, and one thing, you know, people give me a hard time being an SC fan. They say we're soft and the players don't end up. But you look at, actually, we have more NFL players than the team in the Pacific Northwest, I believe, and productive players. But it's just in all. I mean, even the old Pac-12 and the Big Ten. You look at the old Pac-12. Half of the starting quarterbacks in the NFL are former Pac-12 players. You look at the majority of the solid players they're the old guys, the USCs, the Cals, the Stanfords. But now the Big Ten, though, I see it evolving, and it's starting to become exciting now, to where it's like almost as if we're the bullies now. You know, we're the ones beating up these SEC teams, and it's I love the parody. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I think it's good for football, isn't it? I mean,
it really is.
It kind of went back to the way it used to be. Like there's no denying it. The SEC was on a hell of a run, but if you really, and you can't do this because you take USC out of the out of the Pac-10, you take Ohio State out of the Big Ten, you know, and then everything kind of you take Oklahoma out of the Big 12. You take I don't know what Miami out of the ACC. You take the big dog out of any conference, it does change it. But, you know, a lot of that damage, you know, was Alabama, but there's no denying it. Past 15 years, the rosters, the NFL, the development, the NFL production that they have from those schools, and the head-to-head wins that the SEC has had over the last 15 years, it was sheer dominance. But again, because things on the rosters and the way rosters are developed, and the way the transfer portal works, you know, the days of one conference being, and you know, it doesn't hurt to have to have ESPN as your marketing company for your conference, like they've been for the last 15 years. I mean, that's been obvious. I love the fact that they've been picking the SEC for all these schools. You know, when SC played LSU, everybody except for Pat McAfee picked LSU, right? And I think McAfee was just doing to be a goofball at that point. Yeah. And then when we played Texas A&M, literally across the board, everybody had Texas A&M. winning that game.
Sometimes, Tim, I sit back and I'm listening to these guys on TV and they're just ripping us. Certain networks, I don't want to call them out by name or anything, but certain networks are ripping us to shreds.
ESPN.
Our recruiting, but no, some other ones, some recruiting ones there too that are just ripping us to shreds. But and they make a big deal out of like Colorado and how great Colorado's doing and this and that. And you really looked at I looked at the stats today. A team like that, well, first of all, Lanning hasn't won one big game, but you look at Colorado, they're 0-6 against top 25 teams.
Yeah.
And they're 2-9 against sub 500 teams. And so, the USC hate, I'm telling you now that I'm getting older, I'm starting to pay a little bit more attention. I'm like, God, these guys really can't stand us out there. They hate us.
They hate us because they're not making money off of us. I mean, it really all comes down to money. Hang on one second, you guys. I'll be right back. I mean, feel free to keep talking.
Oh, no, that's okay. No, that's okay. But no, when it comes to what we have now, I'm really excited with the depth that we're adding, especially like I said, the defensive line that's going to be really just I can't wait to see him in action. And you know what? Not enough credit goes out to Nua. Everybody says Coach Henny. I want to take some time to give Nua his flowers, man. That guy, he does a great job. He's out there on the road, pounding the pavement, recruiting for us. And shout out to Coach Nua out there. Yeah, sorry, my son forgot his keys for the Voice of College Football USC studio. He forgot his keys again. So sorry about that, you guys. No, it's okay. No, I'm just talking about the depth that we have, and it's another thing too, Tim. It's I'm sad the season's over. I felt like, right at that last game against Notre Dame, I just felt like, things were heading in the right direction. And, we were in games. We were believing again as a fan base. People were excited and pretty much at the edge of our seats half the time. But for the most part, I'm excited. Can't wait till we get back at it. Oh, yeah. It seems the longest off season in sports, and it is brutal. Now, we will try to stay, anyone tells you there's no off season in college football, they're lying to you. Although I will say this, though. I will say that, the playoffs will extend us out a couple of weeks, which will be nice. Mm-hmm. But it won't be too long before we start talking about that spring portal opening up and spring practice. So there will be news throughout the offseason, because yes, that guy out there, yes, there is an offseason. You can try to pretend like there isn't, but there really is an offseason. Really? But during the offseason, there's, it's time we get to speculate. We can still keep talking and making fun of the Ducks. We have lots of months to do that. Ducks, where are you? Come on. Are you afraid? What are we going to do? I can't believe we have no duck callers. We've been calling you guys out all night. We don't have a single duck caller has called in, which is pretty amazing. And you know what? Also, what's more amazing? We haven't had one duck caller on to get angry, or we haven't had an overly lubricated drunk Buckeye to call in how great that they're about to take on the NFL, next week. Today the CFP, tomorrow the NFL. So I don't know where those guys are either. But Christian, I do appreciate you calling in. Your calls are always welcome. You always come very prepared and appreciate you help us out tonight.
I appreciate it, man. You guys have a great night.
Great call. Fight on,
Take
Christian.
Care. Right on, brother. Now, this is something else. Kim, I can't believe I'm even on here. This is, what, for anyone who's listening to us out there, I'm telling you, hit that like and subscribe, man. This is a great show. And thank you, Tim, for all that you do, and Trojan Blade out there. You guys are amazing. And Preston, you guys, like I said, this is like an early late Christmas gift for me here. So thank you.
Listen, you've been a long time supporter, and so when I knew that Preston was not going to be able to make it, you're a member. You're always calling. You're always helping out. Caller, I'll be with you 1 second. Hang on 1 second. But no, by all means, you guys remember, go ahead and that might be another way if we could do membership. I'm always looking to do an additional show, so maybe we could have it to where we bring some of you guys on if you would like to call in and join me. Paulie, listen, Paulie, this is really, I'm just trying to strong arm you, right? You guys in the chat, tell Paulie he needs to have his own damn show. Paulie should have his own channel. All right, because I'll tell you what, I'm subscribing to the Paulie Walnuts channel as soon as it gets on board. So, and I really hope all of you guys do as well.
Yeah,
Hi,
you definitely. Go ahead. Sorry, Tim. Go ahead.
no worries. Hey, hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Monotone Tony from Reno, Nevada.
I got
say that,
you're on with Paulie Walnuts and Monotone Tony. I love it.
This is Monotone Tony. This is one of my guys.
Just Monotone Tony. I watched this guy stump the Schwab for years and years in person. Anyway, I just want to say that I love the passion that Paul brings to USC football, and it's a great free agent pickup.
Yeah,
great
absolutely,
job, Paul.
Absolutely. I had a strong arm. Tony to come on. I had a strong arm. Do you have anything about SC you want to talk about, or anything at all? The CFP? Any topic?
No. Only Miami Dolphin football. That's all I talk about. So I don't want to bore you guys with that.
Okay, listen.
I want to drag down the show.
You got to call back in because Preston is a huge Miami Dolphin fan. So keep that in mind for next time.
Preston sounds like a good guy.
All right, listen.
Next time. Take it easy, guys.
Appreciate Monotone Tony calling in.
I love you, Tony.
Okay, so now I've met Paulie Walnuts. I got Monotone Tony, Paulie Walnuts. I'm waiting for more of your crew, Paulie, to call in because
my son actually he left a message earlier. I saw that you guys posted that.
Yeah, well, I got to be honest with you guys. I did not know that we were going to be staying on this long. We've been on now for almost an hour. I see Roger. Roger, have you ever called in? Like Roger Dodger's on every single. If I ever tune into any, if it's from if I'm over on the 247 with Ryan's guys or anywhere, it just seems like Roger Dodger, or on the main channel here on Voice College Football with Mark. It always just seems like Roger's everywhere, but I don't think Roger's ever called in.
I see him everywhere. I see this guy everywhere. It doesn't matter what show it is. He's on there representing.
Yeah. But guys, again, appreciate everyone being here. This is ridiculous. We have almost 900 people on right now, and I'm fishing for a phone call. Again, not everybody has to have a moniker like Monotone Tony or bring it like Christian and Craig. If you're an SC fan out there and you want to have a conversation, this is your show. We threw out the ideas for you. We could talk roster. We can talk the CFP. We could talk about the Ducks and how long Lanning's going to be there. No, I'm just kidding. That's a good question though. How long are fans going to sit here and get on the backs of coaches that go 12-1? Like Ryan Day, like Dan Lanning. Because it seems like these guys win 90% of their games and the fan bases still want to kill them. And now, again, in the case of both of them, I would make this point. Is it the program? Is it going to recruit by itself with or without these guys? All these rosters, are they winning because of their rosters, or are they winning because of their recruiting and their development chops? Because to me, it seems like, a lot of the Michigan fans want to get on Ryan Day and call him, third base Ryan. I don't know what they call him. They call him something like that. But there's some places that are already ready baked. You show up and you roll in. Even a great coach like Urban Meyer, he just walks right in. And oh, by the way, you get to inherit Tressel's roster. I mean, places like that, I don't think a lot of fans realize the mess that Lincoln Riley walked into. I mean, when you did have Dan Lanning walk into Eugene, he had that roster that was fully developed by Mario Cristobal and Nike. It was already ready for him. But it seems like when it comes time to win at the biggest level, it just seems like some of these guys kind of choke. Now, the way Ohio State played, I don't see them choking anytime soon, because they looked like they came out pissed off. I knew for a fact, and I thought it would really be show up in the Michigan game. I honestly thought that the Chip Kelly effect was they brought Chip Kelly in for one reason, to beat Michigan. But apparently it looks like they brought him in also to really take out pretenders in the college football playoff.
Yeah, I got to tell you too. It's just you're so right with Cristobal's and the Urban Meyers. These guys, they left a great foundation for these coaches just to step into, and they kind of carried. You look at DeBoer now over in Alabama; he's struggling somewhat, but those aren't his guys that he recruited. So he has this whole complete offseason to do that. But but they're already one in his head too. But Lincoln really out of all of these big programs. I mean, Franklin, I don't know. Did he run in? Was it that bad at Penn State when he took over? Or did O'Brien kind of change it, I think? I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, Riley really inherited a complete mess. It was rock bottom.
You just gave me a great idea. I just don't think that at Penn State you have the resources you have at Oregon and you have at Ohio State or even at Michigan. Definitely not Alabama. That kind of situation. I wonder what a James Franklin, who did a great job at Vanderbilt, give this guy. He did have Saquon Barkley at one point, but I mean the entire. We've seen it. We saw last year with Caleb Williams. It'd be like, oh, you guys lost 6 games. If you lost 5 games with Caleb, best player in football, Caleb Williams. Blah blah blah. Yeah, it's one player. It's like. Yeah. You got 22 starters. You're probably going to play about 40 guys during the game. I mean, it takes more than that. Just one guy. I wonder what a coach like Franklin could do. I don't want him to see. Okay, really clearly, I'm not advocating that I want him to come here to USC like everyone did earlier. I don't. I think he does have a ceiling. But it would be interesting to see if you give a coach like Franklin the keys to Ohio State. Yeah. The keys to Nike U. That might be. That might be interesting to see. I again, do not put words in my mouth, chat. I did not advocate for us picking up James Franklin here at USC.
Yeah, I'm not advocating for him either because I want to see this Riley thing through. But one guy that never gets any credit is Kalani Sitake, man. That guy does, I think, so much with so little, and inside those type of coaches with nothing but. I loved watching him put a thumping on that Colorado team like that. Man, I was going to watch that. Oh, I was laughing the entire time.
That's talk about a juxtaposition of styles, right? Kalani Sitake and Coach Prime. You know what I mean? All business, all flash coming together, and you saw it. I mean. Say what you want about BYU as well. They never have the most talented roster, but they always seem to put together some of the better teams. Chris Foote, shout out Chris Foote if you're out there somewhere. They always seem to have just the guys on the same page. Sorry, Tony. If Tony out there, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for saying that as well. Barry Fisher. First off, thank you, Barry, for being a long-term member of the channel. Definitely a long-time supporter of the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, I'll have to watch later, but I want to wish Tim and the whole fam happy New Year. This time next year, we'll be watching SC in the playoffs instead of. Oh wait, sorry, was it queued up? Sorry, had the wrong one. Yes, thank you, Barry. Sorry, so let me read that again. So this time next year, we'll be watching SC in the playoffs instead of. And you're absolutely right. And I thought the whole show would be like this. I thought we're going to hear all of the Ducks calling in. I've actually gone a little overboard trying to call out Ducks because I really wanted to get some Duck phone calls. The first year we did this, right? We had tons of Duck calls. Tons. Talk about Dan this, Dan that. And it's kind of crazy because this year the Ducks have had a really great season. And we haven't heard, I bet we've had Sooner calls, we've had Michigan calls, we've had
Penn State calls.
Oh yeah, well, Penn State, great Penn State calls.
Great Penn State.
But no Ducks. Kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe I pissed all of them off last year. I don't know. But I'd love to hear from you guys. Like I love to mess with you guys. But again, I wouldn't go as far as say I have a lot of respect for Oregon, but I do have respect for the season you guys put together. I'm kind of having some fun up here tonight at your guys' expense. But there's nothing to laugh about. 12-1 season. You guys should be happy. I mean, you got Notre Dame. You did get Notre Dame, right? You had this amazing season, then all of a sudden you get smashed at the end. But, better luck next year, right? Right, Paulie? Better luck next year. I'm going to go ahead and cruise through here really quickly, see if we get a question. Maybe we get a call. Possibly I can try to find a member comments. You guys always highlighted if I catch you out there, our members of the channel. But thank you guys all for being here. I think we have 890 right now on the line. We've been on for an hour, just went to 896. Holy smokes. Any one of you, close to 1,000 people out there, would like to pick up the phone, give us a call. We just lost our guy. Got 900 people on the line right now. Love to hear from all of you guys. Any of you guys, give us a call, 888-997-4539. Now I'm flying solo, so I'm really going to have to get a phone call from somebody. Give us a call. Let us know. What do you think about Dan Lanning and the Ducks getting really exposed for, I'm calling it a lack of development. This team just didn't come together. That wasn't me, Duck fans. That's someone, the producer in the background. Just did not put it all together and really got exposed to this game because they played a great tight game at home at Eugene when, again, you had a situation where the offense at Ohio State was kind of starting to figure out their way. But in this game, it just looked like from the start. Now, a lot of people were talking about the fact that it might have been the fact that a lot of the teams, they were a bit rusty. They're a bit rusty. They had that bye, right? So you had Penn State kind of fall behind a little bit early. You had got Paulie back. You had a situation. No problem. Where the Ducks just got the doors blown off them. There is that thing in college football where, what do you want? Do you want to be able to rest up? Do you want to prepare for teams? Or do you want to stay battle tested and not get that rust effect? And I think that you did see that with, ASU coming out a little bit flat, Penn State coming out a little bit flat. And then we just saw it here with the Ducks starting out flat. It'll be interesting to see on Thursday. By the way, condolences and prayers out to all the families that were affected by the horrible events in New Orleans. Really, really sad story. Very sad story. That there were a number of people killed. So they had to move the Sugar Bowl from tomorrow till Thursday. But our thoughts and prayers are with all the people out there. That's kind of a sobering thought. Let's go back to football. So it'll be interesting to see if Georgia will also follow that trend and or if they can, maybe. I doubt it because I'm sure Kirby's going to have those guys ready, Paulie. I think that he's probably going to use all those games I just named as a perfect example for them to say, hey, look, we cannot afford to fall asleep at the wheel. We got to come out strong because I do think, listen, we watched it firsthand, Trojans. We saw what that Notre Dame machine can do. And it just seems like it's the same damn formula they follow every single year. An amazing offensive line. We were all, thinking, oh, wow, what's going to happen? They lost a couple. They lost like two. I think they lost two left tackles, and they're starting a freshman left tackle. And it just seemed like that offensive line got better and better. Hey, look, hey, guys, that's called development. You get your guys in there, you develop them throughout the year. So at the end of the year, you're kicking ass. Yes. Get them away from the fry machine and get them on those sleds. Have them hitting those sleds, Dan, because your team's supposed to get better as the season goes on. I'm enduring myself to all. So I'm sure we get lots of duck calls now. So
they're gonna bomb you the next week, Waj.
Tons of duck calls on the way right now for sure.
That was classic, man. That is amazing.
So what else, Paulie? We got 912 people. We want to talk to them. They don't want to talk to us, but we're here.
No, it's okay. Like I said, when going back to the state of our program and looking at just kind of this whole, I know they're going to clean up this whole process when it comes to the bowl system, the seeding, all of that. And, the big thing is should these teams higher seeds play at home? Like, the Oregon fans already complaining, maybe that game should have been in Eugene and not on the road, blah, blah, blah. But I just see, like I said, I don't want to underestimate our schedule. And I know that's going to be a knock on us next year if we start rolling through it. Well, they didn't play anyone, but at the same time, I just think there's a good chance with the balance that we have, and that's what wins championships. Obviously, everyone says defense. Some people say explosive offenses. It's balance that wins. And right now, I think we if we can find that nice balance of players to contribute, like a Travis Dye back in the day, just consistent. And you have our defense, which was consistent. But I look at the development of some of these players, especially Shelby. man, when I looked at that guy, man, on some clip that was out there, I mean, talk about, I mean, he was just a skinny, young man, and now that guy's like a monster now, just chiseled and big and strong, and sure enough, it showed all that hard work. I mean, he's getting in there for a sack, and I see the development of a lot of these guys, and I can't wait to see what Desmond looks like after an off season of working out, man. That guy, I've been so high on him. And then, as far as Sellis goes too, Mr. Williams, he's I have a lot of hope for him. And
Go Braves.
Guys, I think them sitting out and learning from these older guys, learning from Arnold, learning from Bryson Shaw, these guys, I think it's just been nothing but beneficial for them. And they're ready. They're chomping at the bit to kind of come in here and show what we're about. And that's why I try to tell the Trojan fans out here is, just don't worry. Don't. I think we got a good thing going when it comes to development of players. I look at it. I mean, everybody, like I said, with the running back situation, I felt it from I thought we would be in good hands. I didn't realize that Jackson was going to play that well, but I mean, he showed me a lot. But what I loved about him, if you notice, did you notice how soft his hands are when he's catching a ball out of the backfield? I mean, that's a skill that a lot of running backs don't have. And so that really impressed me about 21 is him catching the ball out of the backfield. So, they're going to open that up as well. And so, but the one room that I talk about, it's the Joey Olsons, the Lakewood.
Hey, stop kissing up the Gabe with that.
No, I
Joey
love
Olsen
that
stuff.
guy, man. I love him.
it.
He's, ever since his recruitment trip, when I watched the video when he was there with his family, I was like, this is like the coolest kid ever.
Yeah,
but
that Joey Olsen. Yeah.
No, but the entire room there. I think once Jaden kind of figures things out and he realizes, hey, these guys are open, man. Hit them in stride there. But I think that's another room, another part of our team that's gonna grow this upcoming season. And those tight ends, man, they look really special to me.
Yeah, and we saw a little bit, right? It took a little while. Like the first half of that game in Las Vegas. I don't correct me if I'm wrong, chat, because again, you always do, because I'm always wrong. But it didn't seem like we were targeting the tight ends, and there is a lot of talent in that tight end room.
Definitely.
Watching those guys and watching just how well the teams in the playoffs are using their tight ends. I mean, I think when Lincoln Riley's offense is rolling, you do see those tight ends being used. Yes, I'm blanking on the name of was it Grisham? No, what was the Oklahoma tight end's name? The big tight end.
Jermaine Grisham. Jermaine Grisham.
Grisham. And we think of CD Lamb and Hollywood Brown, all that, but really when they're moving, they're running the ball and they're using their tight end. I want to see that. I think a run heavy team using our tight end kind of bring those safeties up, right? Make them respect that line of scrimmage. Then you torch them with lemon deep, right? You get them, you just get them going. You're going to have a lot of time for Tanook Hines. Wait till you guys, by the way, wait till you get a Tanook Hines. That kid is going to be
special,
just amazing. Xavier Jordan was hurt this year, so get ready for him. Romero Ice is another burner, and then Jay Fair's coming back.
Yeah, Mo Ison is great. I mean, this kid is to me, him and Hines both are very special. And let's not forget about Sims either. That guy's they're all ready to play. But getting back to the tight ends for a second, their Tim is I don't know if people realize how beneficial, how much they helped out our offensive line this year, man. They were just kind of the unsung heroes of our team, man, getting out there and helping out when we were struggling and just doing all the dirty work. And they're a bunch of junkyard dogs, man. I love those guys. I love them. I can't wait to see them, prosper.
Yeah, well, that's why. I mean, I wasn't talking about Sims and Jacoby. Jacoby, man, he showed us. Why wasn't Jacoby used a little more on some of those drag routes or whatever? Let's get him the ball in some space and let him move. But dude, Corey Sims is another guy. I think Corey Sims, in my opinion, is why I think that it was like they did the calculations on Deuce Robinson. Love Deuce Robinson. but there may have been some redundancy there. And in this day and age of you have limited resources for your NIL, and you've got a young man like a Corey Sims from St. Louis, but just baller. That kid plays, I think he's 6'3" ish.
Yeah.
Six, right?
Yeah.
Plays,
guy.
but he even plays bigger than that. So I think that's why maybe we, the coaching staff, being we, probably were a little more comfortable moving away from Deuce Robinson and having that opportunity for these young guys. But that's what I'm saying. And by the way, guys, again, I'm horrible at self-promotion. There are 944 people on here right now. Appreciate every one of you guys. Make sure you're following Preston, say Fight On Preston. Make sure you're following Tim_Prangley. Do you have a Twitter account, Paulie?
I just started one. It's Paulie Walnuts. Hold on a second. I'll get that for you in a second. I'm so new to this whole thing.
All right. While Paulie's looking that up, but also the Trojan Blade. Make sure you go and check out Nico's work on Twitter, and then also Rusty. Make sure you check and Fight On Rusty out as well. Light the Torch podcast guys as well.
It's at Walnuts 4242.
At Walnuts 4242.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you picked an easy one. All right. But anyway, the reason why I was talking about the moving away from the tight ends is because, again, incorporating those tight ends in a strong running game, it's simple football. It's going to suck those safeties up, and then you're going to beat them over the top. Kind of like we were seeing what was going on with with what the Ducks were trying to do, and how the Ducks actually had a little success against Ohio State. So I really am looking forward to Brian Jackson going full circle, really softening up that front, because he gets those tough yards. Like, you don't always have to break them for 12, 13, 15, 20 yards. Those tough 4 to 5 yards on first down throughout the entire game is what I can see Brian Jackson making a living doing. And if we're getting those positive yards, kind of a lot like Quentin Joyner was doing. Quentin Joyner, I think, got stopped once behind the line of scrimmage the entire season. I see a lot of that in Brian Jackson. Brian Jackson looks like he's a pile mover, and his running style is going to be fun to watch. And I wonder though, Paulie, are they going to? They're probably going to go in and they're going to get that veteran guy, but I don't think they go in and get like a Travis Dye. I don't think they're going to go out there and get a Marshawn Lloyd. I don't think they're going to go out there get your Woody Marks, like top line guy with big dollar NIL. I think this time we go the other way around. I think we may not go that route, because I don't think, I don't know. I could be totally mistaken, but I really hope Brian Jackson's getting the majority of the carries this year.
But Tim, I lived in Albuquerque for quite a few years. I worked out there. My kids went to school at UNM, and they graduated from there. So
Eli Sanders.
So Sanders is I've seen him live, and the kid's the real deal, man. With that level of competition he was playing at, I mean, he looked like he was a man amongst boys. I mean, he's not really thick. He's a little on the thinner side, but I mean, he's the real deal. I mean, the kid has the passion to play this game, and when they brought him in, I wasn't shocked. I was shocked that I'm like, wow, these guys really did their homework to go all the way out to Albuquerque and find this kid.
What year is he?
I believe he's a junior, I think, or I know he transferred there from somewhere else. I think it was one of the Arizona schools, I believe. I don't know. I can't remember, but I know Bronco Mendenhall was the coach there, and he bounced out after a year. So that's how we ended up getting Sanders, because he ended up his first year there in Mexico playing under Bronco Mendenhall, and then he transferred out. But the kid's the real deal, man. I saw him just speed. I mean, like I said, he looked like a man amongst boys at that level.
He's a smaller back, though, correct?
Yeah.
He's not every down back.
No. He's going to come and kind of be that shifty guy for us, maybe catching balls out of the backfield. I have no idea. I mean, we have no idea how he's going to be able to perform against this type of this level of competition. But I know he has the will to do it.
Oh, so I was watching his highlight film. That guy's got real speed.
Yeah.
So
I've seen it
bigger.
up close.
He's bigger. I see. I didn't realize that. Thank you, Gabe, for the Trojan Blade card. 5'11", 194. If that, I mean, Shoot, I thought he
I
was.
didn't realize he was that tall. I didn't realize he was that tall. Wow, that's crazy.
No, I mean, so my bad. I for some reason, I don't know why I thought he was like one of those. For some reason, I thought he was like one of those, small little guys that the 5'9", 200 pound, 5'9", 290, 195 guys, little bowling, little bowling ball guys. But no, not small at all. Not small at all at 5'11", 194.
Yeah,
Holy smokes!
This guy's more of like a Darren McFadden type of body. I thought when I saw him. I don't know. I just it was a speed, like I said, that really blew my mind when I watched him play, because they'd give those tickets away. No one would go to the games, and so I would go all the time.
Yeah, so
I have no life, guys.
I take it back. I think we're all locked up at running back then. Between we got the thunder and lightning situation going there, because I've seen this guy run. I don't know if he has. I haven't seen his moves, but his straight line speed. He looks like the kind of guy, maybe just one cut, plant his foot and go. Yeah. If he could be that guy and be the home run threat, then shoot. I mean, that's exactly what we need to complement our current backs that we have right now. So, yeah. And I mean, I'm interested to watch. I mean, I know very little. I'll admit, I have not watched a lot of the film and stuff on our incoming freshmen, like, Harry Dalton. Oh, wait. Harry Dalton. Is he?
Yeah, Harry Dalton. Harry Dalton's another solid guy, and Riley Wormley, but Dalton, to me, let me tell you, Alabama was, till the very end, they were just begging to have this guy there, and he chose us. And he's one of those workhorse type of running backs. And Riley's more of Riley. I get Riley confused with some of these other guys, but Riley's more on the shorter side, I think, and kind of the shiftier type of back. But that's another great kid out of Texas.
Wormley's from Texas, yeah. We love our. I said next to the Texas. I mean, we've got a couple of guys that came from San Diego that were pretty damn good, but really, I don't think people realize, and I try to remind people all the time, just the connection that USC historically, I don't mean just like recently, but historically has had with Texas running backs. So, yeah.
Tim, the one thing I see too is like you said, historically, you look back at those competitions. Good. I like it when they bring all these people in to compete. But you look back at those days, talk about competition. Remember that one year where we had Emmanuel Moody, CJ Gable, we had all these like a whole flood of running backs all competing for balls, man. And I think Moody out of Texas ended up Chauncey Washington. There you go as well.
Yeah, this is Gabe earlier. Yeah. He caught me when I said I was talking about stacking rooms. When I was talking about Georgia stacking, defensive linemen. Yeah. I kind of went back to the Wayback Machine and thought about this room that Pete Carroll had as a running back room.
God,
God, those are all 4 and 5 star guys right there. Joe McKnight, RAP, but that group right there, you're not going to ever see that again. No, there's no way.
There's no way
that's going to happen. And that's why we're seeing parity come back to college football, because you just can't either financially keep that roster together, or just like those guys aren't going to sit behind each other. You're looking at, Stephon Johnson before he got hurt, right? He was, of that group, you shoot him in for an NFL, starting job at some point. And by the way, speaking of the Buckeyes, I'll never forget that. Watched him run. Joe McKnight moved the ball all the way down the field. Yeah, that game in 2009.
As a freshman, right?
You had freshman Barkley, and I think Stephon Johnson might have been
freshman or sophomore. I can't remember.
I think Joe McKnight and I can't remember, but I know Barkley was a freshman. And Joe McKnight did all the work getting down the field with running and catching the ball, but it was Stephon Johnson and has literally just walked into the end zone.
What a great game, that game. Tim. What a great game, man. That was one of my all-time favorite games, watching that one there.
But I will never go back to the horseshoe. No. Sorry, Ohio State. Yeah, great. Oh, I thought we had a call. I can't believe this. I'm going to check to make sure my phone's working, because there are literally now, there's 998. If we get 2 more people, we have 1,000 people, which would be a record for the channel. We got 1,000 people in here. Appreciate Petros Priamos and Barry Fisher for your super chats. Appreciate all of you guys being here. Really, really do appreciate the love you guys are showing. If you guys all could just take 2 seconds, it's painless. And if you've enjoyed any part of the show, if I haven't insulted your team too badly, please hit that like button. It means a lot to the channel and the show. and subscribe. We're pretty close. We're trying to get to 6,000, you guys. I think we had like 5,900 and change. I mean, literally, if like 10% of you guys subscribe tonight, we would be at that 6,000 mark we wanted to get to. So appreciate everyone being here. Yeah, here's another going back way back machine. Broderick Green. I had big expectations for big Broderick Green. I think he hurt his ankle or something. I can't remember. He ended up going to Arkansas, I think. I can't remember what happened to Broderick Green.
Broderick Green, remember him?
Yeah. We were rolling in the running backs back in the day, just, all the way through to the Carroll, to Kiffin, to really even all the way into the Helton and Sark years. I mean,
Herschel Dennis, and then there was another one by the name of Estrus Creighton, who was one of my favorites.
Well, that's way back.
Yeah, that was way back. That's
one of my 90s. That might be 80s, actually.
Yeah, Estrus Creighton.
Estrus Creighton might actually, because that's going way back to like the Mark Carrier and John Jackson and the Affolter years. I think I could be wrong. Some of the older people, put the young guys in check. Was that the 80s? I don't know if that was 80s or not.
Santa Ana. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I love it. This has been great, man. I got to tell you, this is the most fun I've had. And I am going to post this show, if you don't mind, and get all of my friends and family to like and subscribe. I'll make sure to put it on there. I'll add Trojan Blade and Preston on there as well, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I seriously imagine, Paulie, when we actually get some phone calls. We had some great calls, but I'm still trying to figure out. We've had 3 phone calls in an hour. I don't think that's ever happened. Maybe we should open up the StreamYard. I don't know. Should we open the StreamYard up? We got 1,000 people here. Well, I'll throw it up here, you guys. Here's the StreamYard. If any of you guys don't like to use your cell phones, why don't I go ahead and do this? Because before we go ahead and get out of here, let's do the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, I got plenty of time. Don't worry about me.
All right, go. You guys go ahead, and the link is now in the chat. If you want to join us on StreamYard, you are more than welcome to come on in. Again, we're talking about the Rose Bowl. If you guys want, we could talk about any of the playoff games or any bowl games you'd like. Still kind of looking at, I got people busted up on my guy Mayava. I think let's talk about Mayava, because that's been a hot topic.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Let's put this thing to rest. Okay, so I'll tell you right now what I've been saying. So I got crucified left, right, and center all season because people, and I'll say this, it's just human nature. And I've heard some people that I respect the hell out of, talk about Mayava and making the move on from Miller Moss, going way back. The one thing I would say is a couple of things. One, I told the same message, and I wasn't kissing up to anybody. People were accusing me of being a shill, that I was afraid of press credentials, whatever. That had nothing to do with it. It was just really going on logic for me. I was able to see 2 practices the entire year and a scrimmage, right? And then we watched the football games we all watched. I didn't see Jada Mayava throwing the ball every day in practice. You know who did? Lincoln Riley. And all I said the entire time, the whole season, I said is the reason why Miller Moss is the quarterback of the team is because this is when he's struggling. No one was even questioning it for the first 3 games of the season. Like, nobody. And really, anybody that watched that LSU game, the Utah State game, and the Michigan game, because the Michigan game had nothing. People harken back to the interception, the pick 6 he threw, but did anybody watch that football game? He was getting crushed. I just said this. I said Lincoln Riley's putting the quarterback who puts this team in the best position to win the game. Let me repeat that. Lincoln Riley is playing the quarterback who puts his team in the best position to win. Does that mean it's my favorite? Does it mean that he's the best quarterback? Does it mean that Lincoln Riley's playing favorites? That Lincoln Riley, but he's playing the guy that on that Saturday is going to put his team in the best position to win. And Paulie, you and I talked about this at some point during the season. And any fans out there talking crap about Miller Moss, you're way out of line. That guy got the shit kicked out of him for about 9 games. And the line got a little bit better maybe in game 7, game 8, game 9. But there was something that was broken. He lost one of the strongest talents that Miller Moss had was his moxie, was his confidence. was just his willingness to go out there, take hits, and lead his team to wins. And he did that for the first part of the season. But somewhere in the middle of the season, that got knocked out of him. And I'll tell you what, taking blindside hits, getting semi-concussed or whatever like he did, those kind of hits are going to change a quarterback. And I think he started to feel the pressure. I think he started knuckling up, and I think that's when he lost his fastball. And at that point, Riley said, okay, well, now we're turning the ball over, so maybe we do need to make a change. And then at that point, Maeva comes in, and he showed us why Riley brought him into the team. We got to see that big arm. We got to see his confidence. We got to see his big smile, and his poise in the huddle and in the game. But then we also saw the downside of it. We saw that, he wasn't using the entire field, that he wasn't seeing the entire field, that he's still kind of picking up the offense. I mean, people were ridiculing me for saying things like that. I didn't say I know. I said these are the reasons maybe why he's not playing. But watching him play, it did show that he's still kind of learning the game. Can I say it that way? He's played football for years in a collegiate level, but how long has he been a quarterback and the training and all of this? I know, Paulie, we've had a brief comment. I'd love you to follow up on that, the conversation we had about him and his playing football. So I'm not knocking him, and I'm waiting. He could be that dude that just flips that switch because he's got everything. He has everything you want. But Paulie, go into what we were talking about, or you were sharing with me about, maybe his development and where he is in his development as a quarterback compared to like a Miller Moss.
Like I told you, a lot of times guys like Miller, I'm not saying Miller in general, but a lot of quarterbacks that grow up in this area, they have the 7-on-7 stuff. They have the quarterback coaches. They have all of it. You're looking at one kid that grew up in a 2-bedroom house with 12 people in it, and no type of training like that. He had maybe some coaches that really, I mean, let's just say they're not on a level like a Bishop Gorman type of coach, but he's tossing balls out on the beach with his uncles and learning the game that way and bouncing from school to school. Really no foundation for this kid to learn the game properly, the nuances of the position. And one thing that he has, though, that a lot of quarterbacks don't have is he has that toughness that a lot of guys don't have. And that's the one thing that I saw with Miller is after I was just telling Tim about it and this is just my opinion, but when I saw him take that hit and they smacked it where he got spun around, he smacked his head on the ground against, I think it was Wisconsin or I can't remember which game. He was never
in the end zone, right?
Yeah, in the end
zone.
Score. Yeah, he was in the end zone. After that was one of them but it could be a multitude of things. Sometimes maybe it was the criticism he was taking. We don't know that. But getting back to Jaden, though, I see the potential. He's just like I told him, he's a wild stallion out there, man. The guy needs to be corralled in a little bit, taught the game, and he's so hard on himself. And another thing too is these guys that he's been playing with, they were not his guys. They were Miller's boys. Miller had a whole year under Caleb with Mekhi Lemon, with Jacoby and Deuce and all those guys playing in the second unit there, getting that bond going, learning each other's tendencies and all that. And Jaden kind of got thrown into it. I see him now, towards the end of the season there, they started, you could see him forming a bond with Mekhi and I'm not, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. I think Jacoby and Mekhi ended up having some of their most success with Jaden at the helm. But we're going to see. I know Lincoln, Lincoln believes in this kid. And if he feels these are things that could be corrected in an offseason, then I'm going to roll with it, man. I don't know how you feel about that, Tim, but, I know he needs a lot of work. I know he does. And would it be good to get another veteran presence in there? Maybe some guy that can help him out and kind of mentor him a little bit, a guy that's really not worried about the playing time. I don't know if that's even possible to even find a guy like that anymore. But that's kind of my take on Jaden there. He still needs a lot of work, but I see a lot of upside in the kid. Yeah,
without a doubt. And it's going to come with time. The thing that he's lacked for me is that poise. Yeah. Progressions and poise. And that's going to come together when the bullets are flying. You get practice time, whatever. And like we said, the problem I've said a couple of times with the Notre Dame interceptions was they just weren't on the same page. That will come on time. The PRP, the player run practices, spring ball, and then into fall camp, there's going to be a lot of reps. A lot of reps on air. They're gonna get that feel for each other. And so instead of a back shoulder, it's going to be a fade to the corner, whatever it's going to be. They're going to get that rapport together and look more. Someone was talking mechanics, footwork, etc. Seems like a lot of the balls are sailing on him. He's got that big arm. And with gunslingers, there's a couple of throws in that last game where he's lucky to come away with it. But do you want? I guess it comes down to it when you have receivers like Jacoby Lane, and with Lemon, and then you brought up Corey Sims, guys that can come down that make, the 50-50 ball more like an 80-20 ball. You of the latter, not exactly, not Lemon, obviously, but I mean, actually Lemon, yeah, that guy, there's some dog in that guy. You throw that guy, even though he's smaller, he'll get that ball no matter what. But my point is, do you want him to make those throws? I think that's coachable, and you can coach that out of him. Yes, you got a big arm, but the windows are smaller at the P4 level than they were, playing in the Mountain West. These things will come with time, and we saw what Miller was able to develop being with Riley for 3 years. Having those off seasons with Riley. Jaden came in late, didn't have that. Now he's getting that time. Now he's getting the time with running with the ones, and like you said, now he's getting to know the guys that Miller was. You said the guys that played earlier in the year with Miller, you brought this up, were the guys that he was probably throwing to, the second teamers that he had a lot of rapport and a lot of reps with. So they were all on the same page. Yeah, these things will come. I think there's a little more to it, with Jaden. I think that he needs those, he needs to know when a guy's coming unblocked. If it's, he's got to have that awareness piece that I think will come with more time. And if Lincoln Riley and Luke Heward are the guys that I think they are, that will be tightened up. I will tell you, though, that we saw with Dylan Gabriel, who is a great quarterback, and he's been around for a long time, and he does a great job of distributing the ball. And once he got familiar with Will Stein's system, he was distributing the ball really well. Yeah. I think you really want, there's no substitute for that elite quarterback, though. And so if something comes along, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate. I'm going to catch strays for this. If you have an opportunity sometime, because I think Jaden can be really good, but I don't know if Jaden's going to be really good. Yeah. And if anyone tells me they know Jaden's going to be the guy next year, come on, you're lying to yourself. You're lying to me. Could he be? Absolutely. Is he? We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know that.
I remember the heat you took when everyone was fascinated with this athletic ability, and you said, no, he's, I hate to break it to you guys. And I remember you talking clearly and being honest about it, and it was the truth. He doesn't have this overwhelming athletic ability that people have. He has ability to escape if he has to here and there, or on a sneak or whatever the play is. I mean, he can do that, but
he's a big guy.
Is he going to be jumping over guys and juking people? No. I think it's a lot more straight line type of speed maybe that he has that's more of an advantage than Miller, and maybe escapability a little bit. But a lot of times, I mean, they're both the same. But the one thing about Jaden that I see is and I want to see if, I mean, this is what, we pay the big guy to do. He's the quarterback whisperer and the guy that knows quarterbacks, and his track record proves it. But it's to get that when Jaden goes into schoolyard mode, I call it, when he starts running around and just looking like he's on the schoolyard again, doing this random crap that I have no idea what he's doing or what he's thinking. But, maybe I don't know how they're going to do that, but I don't know.
I don't want to see a lot. I don't want to see that. I mean, I think the worst thing that could have happened is that Utah State game.
Yeah.
You could do that stuff in the Mountain West. Yeah. You can't do that against Penn State. You can't do that against Michigan. You can't do that against Texas A&M. You can't do that against LSU. You can't do that against the Ducks. You can't do that, and there were a couple of times. There were a couple of times he did it, and it gets kind of scary, that we saw it in the last game, where he was rolling back and away from the pressure and just decides to throw the ball. I mean, yeah. You don't want it, like you said, he's that thoroughbred, right? You don't want to tame him. That part of him you kind of want to keep in there.
Yeah, of course.
But But in the games that we're going to play next year, if we really want to consider ourselves a playoff threat, look at how many close games we were in this year. Look at how many pick sixes we threw, both quarterbacks through this year. Those technically were the difference of the games. We know there's a lot more plays than just one or two throws, especially when you're throwing the ball. You're being asked to throw the ball 50 times a game.
Yeah.
It comes with that poise will come with time. And do we have the time next year to keep working on Jaden? Because yes, the schedule does line up pretty nice. The beginning of the season is a layup. It's not like last year. Last year, what was it? But the year, if you remember 2023, do I have the schedule somewhere? No, talent composite. Shoot, do I have it? I don't know if I have. This is the old one. This is last year's.
Mm-hmm.
So with this one, we start right at the gate with LSU, Michigan, Wisconsin, and it was difficult, Penn State. And then it kind of, we thought would get a little bit easier, right? But if you remember back to 2023, we had that easy beginning of the season where we thought, oh, hey, cool. Hey, look, we're on a 5-game win streak here. But we all knew it was fool's gold because we knew that there was something seriously wrong with the defense and the offensive line was just still a mess. So as soon as we started playing teams, we kind of got our hats handed to us. But flash forward to 2025, I think that we're going to have the defensive staff is going to be something special. I mean, they are special. Anyone out there, go ahead. Tell me a better defensive staff in college football. There's some comparable and near, but show me one that's, light year, like night and day ahead of what we have here at USC, what Danton Lynch showed just in the past 2 years, what he's done when he turned around UCLA and has turned around here at USC, and then the position coaches that we have. I'd love to hear if you guys have, I'm sure you guys are going to throw out some defenses, but are they that much better, or are they just comparable to what we have here at USC? And then on the opposite side of the ball, I don't think that Lincoln Riley's forgotten how to call a game. I don't think that Lincoln Riley has a bad offensive system. All the crap that I heard this year, like he needs to hang it up. And that's why we hired him, you guys. It's like,
but you look at that. That's what I'm getting at. It's like no matter what, it gets frustrating for me sometimes because no matter what, it's just nothing's ever good enough. You bring in the number one recruit in the entire country. I don't care what it took to do it. Take him to the Marvel Studios, whatever. They brought him in. They got him here. And one thing, the way it's constructed is for once, it's not going to be about the offense this year. Our defense, let's just say, guys, we're not getting blown out. We didn't get blown out this year, but this year I can guarantee it. I don't care. I'll put my name on it. I just know how great this defense and the potential they have. I mean, we're gonna surprise some teams. Let's just say that with that defense. And what we need from the offense is if we can be explosive, that'll be great. But man, I kind of equate it to like John David Booty. I need Jaden just to kind of be nice and steady, man. That's what I need from you. That's all. So
for JDB, that guy he and Cody Kessler are the two of the most underappreciated
don't
Trojans
get me started on Cody. I love him
of all time. I mean, granted, it's kind of tough if you're going to be the one that replaces, Matt Leinart at quarterback. I'm sure it's going to be tough sledding anytime that's going to happen. But yeah, so let's have this conversation. Who's our playmaker next year on offense? Okay, so the easy one to go to is my guy. Again, I'm going to take the credit for it. I've been talking about it since he was at Los Al High School. Mekhi Lemon is that guy, but he's not quite. He's there. He could break out next year. But I mean, look at the teams that are really killing it. In college football. Remember we had I'll give you an example. When you have a wide receiver like a Jordan Addison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yes. A big part of why 2022 was so special compared to 2023 was the offensive line. No doubt about it. But it was also, we had great players in 2023. I mean, I love Taj. I love Taj. Love him to death. Chef Taj is one of my all-time favorite Trojans.
awesome.
But we were missing that guy. We were missing the Jordan Addison who look at Addison's doing in the NFL. Do you know what I mean? It's like, look what he did at Pitt. That special playmaker that really could just completely take over a game, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who's going to be that guy next year on our offense, chat? I'd love to, you guys help me out, because I'm the closest thing I can think of really is going to be I talked about it was going to be Joyner, but Joyner's no longer on the team. I think that that Mekhi Lemon has shown us in the kicking, in the special teams, as well as when he catches the ball, that he can absolutely be that guy and that special guy. I mean, from what you're saying, Eli Sanders, shoot, now I know he's like 5'11" and he can scoot like that. He might be that guy.
Yeah.
But yes, next year, who's going to be that guy? It's going to be the absolute difference maker on our offense.
Well, obviously, Jacoby, it's just, to me, I think with him, it's just, he's at that young phase in his life where once that maturity kicks in and he realizes, I can dominate this game every single day, every single Saturday, I can literally dominate my opponent. And I know he probably believes that now, but to put the work into it, I think that guy could be one of like a Mike Williams type of unstoppable type of force. But as far as someone, usually I see Jackson being more of a ground and pound kind of guy, but yet he has those soft hands. But you know what? Who knows? Maybe it could be a Sanders, somebody that we least expect that's going to come out of nowhere and shock us like that. But Mekhi is definitely our guy, man. But I do worry though. What happens if something happens to Mekhi? God forbid. I mean, we got to have guys ready to step in there. But that's a good question, Tim. I don't know. Who are you feeling?
Well, no, I mean, I'm looking at a lot of guys that could surface.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it kind of gives me pause. Like the whole concept for this show. So I'm cooling my ears off, you guys. You get these headsets on for an hour, your ears get all red. I see a lot of amazing guys, but what I'm looking for is, the guy that's going to be that complete difference maker. I mean, heck, think about this game that we watched, the Ducks game, Jeremiah Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm glad you brought up Mike Williams, because I can't think of another freshman wide receiver. Although Mike did start off a bit shaky, especially at Kansas State. But I mean, just to come in and dominate like that. I'm looking for a guy that's just going to be able to take over him. And I think that the guy's going to be, I think is going to be Lemon. But I was kind of trying to think outside of that, because other than that. And I mean, Jacoby Lane, listen, if we use him, why aren't we using him on slants?
Yeah.
Why aren't we using him on just on third and short? I've said this before, on a simple dig route, or if the corner plays him inside, then he goes, he's got the sidelines to fade to. Why aren't we using that catch radius and that just one-handed snag that he has? I think that we have guys that can take over the game, but I'm sure Gabe's gonna tell us Joey Olsen. That's the answer. Joey Olsen.
I almost said that just to get Gabe going.
Joey Olsen is going to be the guy, Gabe. Just want to make sure.
Yeah, Joey.
That he's still awake.
Yeah, no, but I you look at some of those routes that Jacoby was running, and I saw how comfortable Jaden looked throwing. Oh, this guy! Look at that! Look at that head of lettuce there. But anyway, you see the way Jaden was just so comfortable tossing that ball over the incoming defender, man. But it just looks so natural. Him and Jacoby, they had that good kind of chemistry going on, and I really would like to see him running a lot more different types of routes like that. I really that's what I enjoyed about that game against Texas A&M is watching Jacoby kind of do his thing like that. I've never seen that from him before.
Yeah, I like the way he showed off his athleticism in this game. And I would tell you, I don't get to see that because we don't see that part of his game employed. Maybe we're going to see more and more of that. Mackey Award winner. Yeah. There we go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I want to see us have that identity. And maybe we see what the identity of the offense is going to be. Then maybe that'll help us narrow down the idea. But that's the fun about the new season. You know, there's some really nice moving pieces coming into this offense next year. So I am interested to see.
But then Tim, you know what? Maybe this is going to be our identity. Just a balanced attack and with different types of weapons coming from everywhere. You think or no?
Think of how that plays out in the playoffs because you have lots of good defenses. You've got lots of good defenses. So a balanced attack. I mean, hell, Oregon's offense with Will Stein and Dylan Gabriel, you know, just distributing the ball, just like with Holden and Tez Johnson and Stewart. I mean, all the talent in the world, right? But you go up against, now they lost a couple of those guys that got hurt, but I mean, you go up against a defense like Ohio State has, and that balanced offense.
You need the difference maker,
which will dominate the lesser competition. But in order to be that team to beat a giant like that, you're gonna need to have a couple of difference makers. Now, I'm saying, I think Mekhi Lemon, you got him right there. Jacoby Lane, you got him right there. You know, who's our Quinshawn Judkins? You know, who's our Travion Henderson kind of guy? I think I didn't. I'll tell you what. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really know a lot about. We didn't get to see a lot of Brian Jackson. We didn't get to see a lot of Brian Jackson. But
who's gonna be our Taj? I mean, look at the year when it was there was Addison and you know who was the other guy they were throwing to? There was a few guys that were throwing to there, but Taj Washington. I mean, he just. We need that other guy that can make a difference. But you're right, though. You're right. The difference maker, obviously, Mekhi and Jacoby, but B-Jack, when it comes to him, when I saw him with those soft hands, just that ball falling right into him, like a little catching, like holding like a pillow or something, man. It was so soft. And it caught my attention because I said, wow, you normally see guys with hands of stone dropping balls constantly. And Sanders is good, is decent too, out of the backfield catching balls. So, but what I noticed about Sanders is the tenacity and I mean, just the guy that's working hard for everything. That's what I loved about him.
All right. Well,
I know it's late, man.
It is late. We've been on now for about an hour and 50 minutes. Appreciate all of you guys checking us out. Right now we're getting close to 1,200 people on right now. Vast majority of you guys are over there on Twitter, but please give Paulie Walnuts a follow. Man, Walnuts at Walnuts 4242. Make sure you're checking out our guy Preston over at Fight On Preston. Gabe at the Trojan Blade, and then give me a follow as well at Tim_Prangley. Let us know. My DMs are open. I'm sure all their DMs are open. Paul, your DMs are open, of course, right?
Of course. Yeah,
you're a man of the people. Let us know how we can improve the show. Tell us not to make fun of your ducks. I'm sure. Again, I think about 1,000 of you guys are ducks, and you're just too afraid to call in.
Yeah.
Yes, Dan.
This is my favorite. I
Dan,
love
you need to develop you really do need to. You know, I was a bit. Who else was disappointed with the offensive line for Oregon? I was.
That one, they looked rough.
I was a bit shocked. They get like I'm not sure if it was Christian, but someone brought up the point. They were getting home with 3-4 guys. It wasn't like they were bringing a lot of blitzes. And man.
Yeah, but last thing I want to say too, Tim, is like I told you earlier, I just want to give a quick shout out to Prophet Brown, Anthony Beavers, all those guys, the Hank Peppers, those guys that no one ever talks about. I want you to know, as fans, we all appreciate the living hell out of you guys, man, and especially for sticking around, you know, especially sticking it out and being Trojans. It means the world to guys like me. I know that. So fight on, guys.
Yeah, no, very, very good point. And hey, while we're at it, unsung heroes. I mean,
there you go.
You know, we got to give Killian O'Connor his flowers as well. He really stepped up in the game for Jonah Monheim, called a great game at center. And you know, where would we have been if we had to shuffle somebody in? He came in and did a phenomenal job. And I don't think he is getting enough credit out there from Trojan fans for stepping in. And like I always say, you guys, about offensive linemen, if you're not calling their name, it's a good thing. If you don't hear anything about them, it means they're not holding. They're not missing an assignment, getting their quarterback blown up, right? If you're not hearing their name, that's a great thing, an absolute great thing. So yeah, great job in the bowl game as well. A big goodbye to a big part of the defense as well. Jalen Smith, you guys. Jalen, talking about doing everything the right way, a great young man for the Trojans here for his entire career. Jalen Smith just coming over and moving into that corner position and is playing all season, is playing so damn well. His attitude, his smile, everything about him and the team is going to be missed. And then while we're at it, what a way to end the season. There's our guy, Kyle Ford, came out of Orange Lutheran with just all the promises last year at Orange Lutheran and blows his knee out, stays committed to USC. He's here, except for 1 year where he was tripping, but he came back and made it right. And to get that catch to win the game in fashion and all that, just he kind of talked about after the game, all that emotion, because he went through all of those surgeries and fought back and, had adversity and was here and left because he wasn't getting the targets, wasn't getting the playing time he thought he was going to have. But to come and end as a Southern California kid and his career the way he did was special. While we're going down the line, Tobias Raymond coming in that game, also filling in at right tackle. I don't know what to say. I told you guys, and I'm gonna keep saying it because it's absolutely true. Gotta give Henson his due. That guy got so much. People want to fire him after the Michigan game, but that 2023 class that he brought in, you guys get to know these names, except for Amos Talalele, who left. But the rest of those guys, I think, are going to be starting at USC. These guys are all going to be playing on the line at USC at some point. And really a blessed class. And I can't wait to see, again, another guy that we really, we haven't talked about it in too much detail. But, Hayden Treater is a massive human being. And I always thought he was going to be a tackle. But when he came on the show and we had that interview, he said, well, I really played a lot of guard in high school. And I kind of like guard. So.
And, Jalil Muhammad as well. Those guys, I don't think people realize the importance of a guy like him. Everybody says, well, the stats, he never did, we really didn't do a whole lot. No, he was an absolute leader in that locker room. And to see him never come in and never complain. And then Gavin Meyer and Clifton and those guys, man, they came in, but Pregnon, these guys have all been such great leaders for us. And for Pregnon to come back, but going back to Gavin Meyer, man, I just want to give a shout out to him. If I could put him on a t-shirt, I would wear it. That's how proud I am of this guy. And Clifton, he didn't get enough credit for what he did, but that guy was a dog, man, in the trenches. And also Mr. Kobe Pepe.
Okay, I was going to say, Paulie, if you leave out my guy, Kobe Pepe, the Bosco Brave, I was going to be upset.
I'm just getting fired up, Mr. Kobe Pepe, the poster child of development. That's one thing, guys. Once you start doubting USC and development of players, look at this kid right here. How many times he could have given up and he could have taken off or could have just told us to screw off. He stuck it out, and look at him, man. He's a potential NFL player now.
Wait, can you say that again? This guy want to know what do you mean? What's development?
This guy,
what? He wanted to know what you meant by development.
And it's funny because what I try to tell a lot of fans is the Oregon. I said this has been this is nothing new to me. That team up in the Pacific Northwest, they've been doing this forever. Look, I mean, the pros are usually bust. I mean, Deion Jordans. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but it's not like that. But when you look at us, we're different. We're USC, man. We're SC. Come on. Let's get fired up, guys. I love it.
Thoughts on Joey Olsen? Okay, I think a prolific pass catcher gonna be going in there.
You know what? He's a next Todd Heap.
Where are you finding these? Prolific pass catcher, Walker Lyons. I can't wait to see both of those guys. Can you imagine that? Hey, listen, how about our goal line next year? We have Walker Lyons, Corey Sims, going in with Jacoby Lane and a dual tight end, and then Walker Lyons, Joey Olson, Lane, and Sims. Who are you going to cover in that? I mean, I all the fun, but Gabe's out of control. I don't.
Well, Walker has all the promise in the world, man. That guy's going to be a very special player, and I see the discipline on that kid. It just kept getting better and better and better, and a lot of it, like I said, the tight end position. It's a lot of blocking. It's opening things up for your receivers. I mean, the guy he's a good kid, and I'm really proud of this team, and I can't wait for this upcoming season. I can't wait for the portal thing. I know people were talking about Jaden Milroe possibly being an option if he ends up going into the portal. And I thought, I don't know, man. I don't know about that. That guy was over there on the sidelines doing NIL photos and videos of himself instead of warming up with his team. I don't know if we need a guy like that in our locker room, man.
No, those things don't bother me. Again, I teach high school kids, so I listen. That's just, couple. Joey, sorry, Paulie. I got Joey Olson on mine now. People take a clip of that. You guys realize those guys are out there like 2-3 hours before the game. He took how long was that clip? Like 2 minutes to take that. I mean, it's not like he's out there doing a photo shoot. Do you know what I mean? I think sometimes we get a little too excited.
I'm getting tired of. I'm sorry, man. Yeah.
No, I hear you, but I mean, like, that part of it is not. I just don't think that. I don't think he fits the Lincoln Riley kind of.
Yeah. We're all talking about different here, man. We're building a different. You got to fit in with this culture we're building here, man. The Eric Gentry type of vibe. The guys that are willing to go all out for this university, and I think we got a good group going here. The culture's great, and I think a lot of times people tend to not see that, but I think we're finally building something right here when it comes to the type of player that we're having. I don't ever hear of any of our guys ever getting in trouble or doing anything like that. Who knows? Maybe they do well at hiding it.
Do not jinx us, Paulie.
Yeah.
Hey, but listen, while we're on that, hey guys, here's one for you. Everybody out there in the chat, listen up. I know you guys are all having your side conversations. When was the last time anyone heard of an athlete on any team being academically ineligible?
I can't remember.
I'd love to walk up to some kids these days who watch college football, or even some players, and say the words academically ineligible, because I think it's not even the vocabulary. I can't even remember last time. Remember we'd have guys would sit out a whole freaking season because they're trying to get eligible. They'd lose a whole season because they were academically ineligible. And now that that phrase is completely gone from college football. A lot of college football has gone from college football, but that one in particular is just completely gone the way of the dodo. So
academically ineligible.
and I'm not sure if how I feel about that, but college football is just not college football anymore.
Yeah, the one thing
let's get out of here, Paulie. I'm still amazed, you guys. This absolutely humbling. Thank you so much. Those of you that love us, those of you who hate me for my comments about your beloved Ducks. It was all in good fun. But we have north of 1,200 people in here right now. And if you guys have enjoyed any of the show, please do us a favor. Go ahead, if you're over there on Twitter, give us a follow. We're going to be doing in the off season. We're going to do a bunch of these in the off season. Maybe I can trick Paulie to come on here. Maybe bring
anytime.
Get Gabe from behind the scenes and have them join Preston for us. We'll do some kind of a live show at some point. Maybe even we'll try to get on the off season. Maybe Joey Olson will show up if Gabe keeps kind of stalking him.
I'm going to make this happen.
Joey Olson can show up for a cameo if we ask him to. We can call the athletic department, see if they can loan us Joey Olson for a very special show, a fan meetup with Trojan Blade, so he can have a nice conversation. I'm actually trying to fill time here. Paulie, what's your final thoughts on the season? Wrap it up really quick, just and your thoughts for 2025.
Final thoughts of the season is I'm.
Oh, we lost you. Are you on mute?
No. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Oh, we lost your audio.
Oh, sorry, man. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Or I lost your audio.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You can hear me. Okay. So no, my final thoughts.
It was a good run. Appreciate everyone being here. I'm going to go ahead and appreciate you guys, everyone being here. I'm trying to start a new channel for myself. It's basically, I have it linked wrong inside the description. but it's just Conquest. It's Trojan Conquest, just the channel here on YouTube. So if you guys get done here, if you want to pop over there, I don't know if Gabe has it anywhere. If you could throw it in the chat. Appreciate everybody again being here. Those of you guys on Twitter and those of you guys here on YouTube. Thank you to all the members. Thank you to all the people that called in. All three of you. This is definitely a record. We're thank God Paulie was here. We were on for 2 hours. I had 3 phone calls, but thank you so much. 3 great phone calls. Craig from New York, Christian calling in again. Appreciate you. And Monotone Tony coming in and giving my guy Paulie a shout out. Appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much to Petros Priamos for the very generous super chat, as well as both these guys are members as well, and Barry Fisher for the very, very generous super chat. Big friend of the show, Gigster Squid. How much do you think the impact of the college football playoffs will influence prospective recruiting? I'm hoping that development still matters. I think it's been a theme of this show. Do you want to come somewhere where you're going to have Coach Henny, bringing that dog out and getting you, like Paulie said, getting that Kobe Pepe, which was an afterthought in previous regimes, came in and gave us significant quality reps.
Evan Tompkins
happens to be from St. John Bosco, go Braves, and just came in and really helped solidify the middle of the line. And I'm sure looking at the guys we're bringing in, I cannot wait to see Ratman Bulabalavu. I think he's a guy who's raw, but that dude is going to be something special inside. Keyshawn Silver and Jamal Jarrett, those guys are coming over. All these guys are coming here for a reason, and that is Coach Henny and Coach Nua's development. Really loved what we saw with Cameron Fountain coming on strong in the offseason. The shame that Anthony Lucas went down hurt because he was really improving game in and game out. Every time he went out there, it seemed like he was getting better and better, filling in for Eric Gentry. When Eric Gentry went down, he was really the only significant pass rush that we had, but he was showing why he was a 5-star coming over from Texas A&M. But Gus Cordova, you guys also remember that name. I think that guy was criminally underrated, and just giving Coach Nua some time with him is going to pay dividends. So how much do I think is the impact to our recruiting? I think that it's going to help USC out significantly when they see that a lot of these guys that go off to other programs and kind of disappear. And I'm not talking about true freshmen. I'm talking about guys that have been at some of these schools for 2-3 years and they bounced it around when they had an opportunity to come here to USC, stay at home, be loyal to the soil, and knock it out of the park. Hopefully they're going to figure that out sooner than later. So I think for Paulie, because I think Paulie's we've lost Paulie's voice.
No, they can hear me, but yeah. Anyway,
yeah, we lost him.
Fight on, guys.
Fight on, Paulie. Fight on to all you guys. Sorry, Ducks. Sorry about your guys' loss. Appreciate you guys all being here. Preston will be back next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern for our call-in show. I'm going to start doing some more videos, although I'll tell you what, you guys were asking me to do videos. The last 2 videos didn't do so well. But if you guys got a minute, go ahead and check out the videos. We just dropped one today. And we also have one out, I believe, yesterday, just talking about the program, the pluses and negatives, and is USC going to be a contender in 2025? Go check that video out. A little bit of time into it. Appreciate you guys all being here. And until next time, fight on, guys.
Fight on.